Hey crypto enthusiasts, welcome back to our channel for another deep dive into the world of cryptocurrency. Today, we've got something truly special for you. If you miss it, the legendary Eric Vorhees recently took the stage at the Permissionless Conference in Austin, Texas and delivered an absolutely mind-blowing keynote speech. In this electrifying address, Vorhees breaks down why he firmly believes that blockchain governance is a cut above the traditional legal systems we're all familiar with. But that's not all. He didn't hold back when providing some much-needed guidance to the SEC, urging them to step aside and let the crypto revolution unfold. And folks, brace yourselves for this one. Vorhees argues that cryptocurrency developers deserve recognition on par with Nobel Prizes. It's a game-changing perspective you won't want to miss. To make sure you're up to speed, we've compiled the most exhilarating highlights from his speech right here on this channel. So, without further ado, let's dive headfirst into this exhilarating discussion as we explore the thrilling world of cryptocurrency. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and let's embark on this crypto adventure together. Let's roll! Eric Vorhees began his keynote speech by engaging the audience, asking if anyone loved banks. The response was cricket, indicating that most people in attendance were there because they were not fans of traditional banks. Vorhees then jokingly mentioned WorldCoin, a project that received criticism for its approach to scanning people's eyeballs. He also touched on the issue of Know Your Customer, KYC regulations, and surveillance, highlighting that many in the crypto community were there for rebellion against such practices. He drew a parallel between the ethos of cryptocurrency and pioneering spirit of frontier America, emphasizing the term permissionless, which he found to be a fitting name for the event. He described permissionlessness as radical, rebellious, non-compliant, and inherently American. Vorhees argued that taking back control was essential as the current financial system had caused people to lose control over their money. Bitcoin's significance, according to Vorhees, lays in its introduction of permissionless money. He noted that Bitcoin and later Ethereum smart contracts provided the tools necessary to build an entirely permissionless financial system. This concept contrasts with traditional cash, which he argued was not truly permissionless, especially when it came to moving large sums of money across borders. Eric Vorhees' significant emphasis on the pivotal role that money plays in the lives of individuals. He underscored that money is not merely a medium of exchange but a cornerstone of economic transactions permeating every aspect of our daily lives. According to Vorhees, it is the lifeblood of our financial existence, influencing our ability to meet basic needs, pursue passions, and secure our future. In his address, Vorhees expressed a pressing need for money of the highest quality. By this, he meant a form of currency that was not under the control of centralized entities like governments or banks. His argument here revolved around the idea that traditional financial systems often impose rules and restrictions on how individuals could use their money. These rules were crafted and enforced by entities that may not always have the best interests of the individual in mind. A central theme in Vorhees' speech was the concept of permission. He contended that permission, while often subtle, was omnipresent in various aspects of life, particularly in the realm of finance. The idea of permission extended beyond explicit requests and approvals. It was deeply embedded in the fabric of our financial systems. This implies that individuals were subject to external control and influence, even when they believed they were making free choices. Furthermore, Vorhees drew a thought-provoking parallel by suggesting that requiring permission to spend and trade also meant requiring permission to exist. In essence, he implied that these systems had evolved to such an extent that they had become integral to an individual's very existence. The act of engaging in financial transactions was no longer a matter of personal choice, but a necessity for survival within the existing societal structure. Despite the apparent lightness of these chains of permission, Vorhees urged people not to forget that they still existed. This served as a stark reminder that even seemingly insignificant limitation on financial freedom could have profound implications for individuals. It challenged the prevailing notion that people were truly free to manage their financial affairs as they saw fit. In summary, Eric Vorhees' arguments underscore the critical importance of money in people's lives, the need for high-quality, decentralized forms of currency, and the pervasive nature of permission within financial systems. His message highlighted the subtle yet powerful control mechanisms that could impact individuals' lives, prompting listeners to question the extent of their financial freedom and the implication of permission within their economic interactions. Vorhees envisioned a society that could function indefinitely without limits or borders, but acknowledged that some individuals were inclined to plunder. He traced the gradual retraction of permission to keep what one earned and move freely across borders, often justified by appeals to collectivist propaganda. He criticized the fact that taxes took half of people's money only to be used by a set of strangers. He questioned the coping mechanisms people employed to deal with this reality. In contrast, he argued that people needed to take responsibility for their own salvation and not rely on the political process, which he viewed as flawed. He emphasized the role of individuals in shaping their economic interests and advocated for a shift toward permissionless systems and finance. Vorhees highlighted the significance of permissionless transactions, where any two individuals could trade value without requiring permission. He asked the audience whether this prospect frightened or thrilled them and expressed his excellence about the possibilities. He acknowledged that some individuals engage in what he referred to as gene behavior, but he argued that the goal was not merely freedom from permission and rules, but a preference for objective and transparent rules over subjective and opaque ones. He asserted that code was better than law in this regard. Eric Vorhees' keynote speech at the Permissionless Conference was not just a passionate address, it was a call to rethink the fundamental principles that govern our financial systems. One of the central themes of his speech was the sharp contrast between the enforceability of smart contracts driven by mathematical precision and the subjective and often partially enforced nature of traditional financial regulations. Smart contracts, as Vorhees described them, operate with mathematical precision. They execute transactions and enforce agreements with unwavering adherence to their code. This level of objectivity and transparency was contrast with the conventional financial world, where regulations were crafted by humans and were often laden with complexity and subjectivity. These human-made rules, as Vorhees pointed out, left significant room for interpretation and manipulation. A thought-provoking aspect of Vorhees' speech was his challenge to the status quo of rulemaking. He argued the audience to consider which process of rulemaking was more noble and virtuous: the open-source collaboration seen in the crypto community or the traditional backroom dealings that often shape financial regulations. His question encouraged a critical evaluation of the existing systems of governance and their potential shortcomings. Vorhees did not shy away from addressing the contentious issue of securities laws within the cryptocurrency space. He highlighted the inconsistency in the treatment of tokens, emphasizing that not all were treated equally under the law. He specifically questioned why Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC had not taken uniform action against all tokens if they were indeed considered securities. This critic shed light on the regulatory challenges facing the crypto industry and called for greater clarity and consistency in enforcement. Throughout his speech, Vorhees maintained a firm belief in the crypto community's ability to build superior technology for governing society's rules. He contrasted this belief with the traditional financial system, which he argued relies on rules formed through a political process that was susceptible to fallibility and corruption. In this context, he stressed the vital needs for rules that were objective and transparent, a hallmark feature of blockchain and smart contract technology. In his conclusion, Vorhees reaffirmed the crypto community's commitment to peaceful and permissionless innovation. He criticized government and intervention in its role in inflation, underscoring the permissionless nature of cryptocurrency was a direct challenge to those in power. This final message resonated with the overarching theme of rebellion against traditional financial systems and the pursuit of a more equitable and transparent financial landscape. In summary, Eric Vorhees' keynote speech at the Permissionless Conference served as a rallying cry for the crypto community. It highlighted the principle of permissionlessness, the quest for objective and transparent rules, and the transformative potential of blockchain technology. His call for a shift from subjected human-made rules to math-based code urged the crypto community to continue its efforts in building a more equitable and just financial system for all. We hope you gained valuable insights into the world of cryptocurrency. Remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more thought-provoking discussions on the future of finance. Thank you for joining us in this journey, and until next time, keep exploring the exciting realm of crypto.